After years of my dad enabling his toxic wife, I went no contact when she attacked my child over a wedding dispute. So, a few days ago, I tried to share this story on Ida using another account, but it didn't go through, likely because of the trigger warning. Anyway, after thinking it over, my wife and I realized we made the right choice, so this will be my last go at it. I've tweaked some parts to add more context, and by the way, all the names here are made up. My stepmom, who's 49 and trying hard to be a party planner, has been organizing every single event and holiday for my dad's side of the family since they got married. I've never been a fan of these gatherings because she's super controlling and doesn't take criticism well. I just went along with it to keep the peace for my dad. He believes it helps her feel part of the family. I'm getting hitched to Jane, who's 26, this July. We got engaged back in early 2021, but when Jane got pregnant shortly after, we put the wedding on hold to focus on our son. So yeah, it's been a pretty long engagement. From the get-go, my stepmom tried to take over our wedding plans, bugging our planner and even crashing Jane's dress fittings despite being told to back off. My dad thinks we should just humor her, but it's clear she's salty about not being in charge of the wedding or being called the groom's mom on invites. Besides our little boy, we also have Luke, Jane's 4-year-old half-brother. She got custody of him after his parents passed away a few months after we started dating. I moved in with them during the pandemic and have been like a dad to Luke ever since, even though he doesn't call me that, but we love him as if he is our own. My stepmom, on the other hand, can't stand Luke. She's accused Jane of trying to trap me into the family, and that only got worse after our son was born. My dad likes Jane and adores our kids, but my stepmom insists he doesn't babysit Luke, so we rarely leave the kids with them. Instead, Jane's brother and sister-in-law usually look after them since their kids are around the same age. We had an event last Sunday, and with Jane's brother away, we were in a bit of a pinch. My dad agreed to babysit at our place. When we got back, both kids were crying, my stepmom was yelling, and my dad was trying his best to calm things down. It turns out Luke told her that he and our son would be the ring bearers, and she totally lost it, saying Luke wasn't family and wouldn't allow it. She ended up hurting him, which is why the trigger warning is necessary. His lip is still healing. This was a new low for her, so we've banned her from our house and our wedding. My dad's not happy and says he won't come without her. He has downplayed the whole thing and convinced half of his family to boycott the wedding, including my stepbrother, who sides with his mom no matter what. No matter how often I try to explain the truth, Jane and I are standing our ground, though my cousins, who aren't coming either, want us to rethink things. Most of Jane's family is on our side, but one of her aunts suggests maybe my stepmom's acting out because she doesn't feel included. Honestly, I'm fed up with my family making excuses for her behavior. I love my dad and want him at my wedding, but I'll walk away if it means keeping my family safe. Oh, and we've pressed charges against my stepmom. We took Luke to the pediatrician and gathered all the evidence, including photos and some lucky footage from a nanny cam. She wasn't supposed to be at our house, but since my dad rarely goes anywhere without her, we were cautious. The physical altercation happened off camera, but there's audio of her screaming and Luke crying. She's now facing child abuse charges. We won't let this slide. Luke's doing okay now. We got him checked out by the pediatrician the next day. He already had a counselor, as Jane was worried about him being traumatized after losing his parents, and we're keeping up with his treatment. We've been giving him extra love and attention, and while he's still upset, he's getting better. As for the wedding, my stepmom's officially uninvited. Jane and I have decided to go no contact with my dad and stepmom. My younger sister, who's on our side, is handling any communication from them for now. Jane has a policy of forgiving but not forgetting, so if my dad and stepmom ever genuinely apologize, we might forgive them, but they won't be allowed near Luke, our son, or any future kids. Many of my relatives adore my dad, but they're not big fans of my stepmom. She's had a couple of failed marriages before my dad, and he actually cheated on his girlfriend to be with her. The family liked his ex a lot, so my stepmom wasn't welcomed warmly. She's been trying to dominate family events for the spotlight, which is why I hated those gatherings. My family was pretty neutral about it, but Luke was a different story. After meeting him, they all doted on him since there weren't any other young kids around. I think my stepmom's jealousy stems from how easily Jane and Luke were accepted by my family, unlike her. Plus, she's mad about not being involved in our wedding. She even tried to get us to let her officiate it, although Jane's friend was already set for the role, and my best friend is the best man, not my stepbrother, who didn't want it anyway. Alright, so here's the deal. We had this whole thing with Jane's side of the family for our wedding, like deciding who could be our flower girl. We thought about having her sister's daughter for the role, but she's 15, doesn't know us well, and Jane's little 3-year-old niece is just perfect for it. Then there was the whole drama about who would walk Jane down the aisle. Since her dad isn't around, someone suggested my dad do it, but we'd already asked her oldest brother, Bill, to do the honors. Now, Jane's mom was a bit bummed that my family wasn't as involved as hers and kept dropping hints that things would be different if she was in charge. But honestly, that doesn't excuse how terrible she was to a child. I have this feeling it's all because of jealousy. I'm not really talking to my dad right now, but my sister is keeping me in the loop. Apparently, the story my dad and stepmom told everyone leaves out that Luke got hurt or that there were any abuse allegations. They just made it sound like we were being petty and kicked them out because we were annoyed. Most of my family who heard the real story apologized and are now upset with my dad too. Those who didn't believe us or thought we overreacted are not welcome around us anymore. It's mostly older folks from my dad's side, so it's not really surprising. But honestly, seeing that they would side with someone they don't even like just to keep my dad happy reassures me that I don't need them around. My stepbrother is in denial, refusing to believe his mom could hurt a kid, even though there's evidence. I get it, I love my mom too, but that doesn't mean I'd ignore what she did. So, he's out too. It's a shame because we were close as kids, but I don't regret this decision. Plus, Jane's family has been super supportive. They've basically adopted Luke as their own, checking on him all the time to make sure he's doing okay. We've saved some cash by uninviting people and are using it to bring Jane's cousin over for the wedding, as she couldn't afford it before. Luke is healing well, and we've tried to explain to him why my dad and stepmom aren't going to be around anymore. It's tough because he liked my dad, but he gets that stepmom is always around, and he's scared of her. We've assured him that he's family and we love him no matter what. We're also taking steps to make sure my dad and stepmom don't crash the wedding by notifying the venue and sharing their pictures. It's better to be safe than sorry. It's kind of ironic that stepmom keeps whining about not feeling welcomed by our family, yet she's the one trying to push Luke out. My dad has always guilted me into accepting her plans by reminding me of this, but it's clearly hypocritical since Luke is actually family. It's sad my son won't have his biological grandpa around, but he has 2 wonderful step-grandpas who are more than making up for it. Despite all this drama, I'm grateful for Jane, our kids, and my job. We're happy, and I'm not letting anyone ruin that. Sorry if my first post was confusing. Jane suggested I tone it down, and maybe I went a bit overboard with censoring. This should be my last update on this saga. Thanks for all the support. We're working on getting a restraining order against stepmom using some solid evidence. I haven't talked to my dad, though my sister is feeling the strain of being the go-between for us. I told her to stop if it gets too much. There's no doubt stepmom was the one who hurt Luke. My dad even admitted it while trying to defend her. It's ridiculous. Anyway, Luke is getting back to his usual self, though he's had a few nightmares and wanted to sleep in our bed. Our little one is starting to talk more, and Jane's sister is visiting soon, which should cheer everyone up. Jane's been really upset, crying herself to sleep after it all went down, and it's hard to see. I know part of me thinks I should have seen this coming, but I let my dad have time with the kids, thinking stepmom wouldn't be a problem. Well, lesson learned. Man, I've been feeling super guilty lately, and I don't think I'll ever really forgive myself for everything that's been going on. But there's been a silver lining. Jane, my partner, has been doing better these days and is gently nudging me to try therapy. I've never really gone to therapy before, except for a few visits to a psychiatrist when I was younger. But, with everything happening, I'm thinking now might be the perfect time to give it a shot. This week, I got a bunch of surprise messages from people suggesting I should forgive my dad and SM, that's my stepmom, the stepmonster, and even invite them to the wedding. But, oh boy, that's not in the cards. We're not even having the wedding we initially planned. Forgiving SM is a big no for me. My dad? Maybe, but it's doubtful I'll ever forget what she did. We're trying to stick to our original wedding date because it's basically the only one that works for everyone. We've got passwords set up with all our vendors and told them to only deal with us, just to avoid any drama from SM. Jane's family is big and super tight-knit, so they're more involved in the wedding than mine. But my family isn't totally left out. My sister's going to be a bridesmaid, and a couple of my cousins are groomsmen. Plus, my mom will be walking down the aisle with the rest of the wedding party. Going through all this with Jane has really cemented my love for her. I couldn't wish for a better partner to start a family with. We've managed to stay strong together, and I feel blessed. I probably won't post any more updates until after the wedding unless something major comes up. But hey, best wishes to all of you in the meantime. So, in a crazy twist, I saw my dad and SM for the first time since SM attacked my kid. I didn't plan on giving another update before the wedding, but this was big. At least we got a restraining order, but dealing with them in court was rough. We hadn't seen them since we kicked them out, and we were dreading it. Thankfully, we left the kids with Jane's brother, so they didn't have to deal with it. The hearing was quicker than I expected. Props to my dad for at least knowing they were going to lose. There was a ton of evidence against them. We had footage, photos, and even text and email evidence thanks to my sister's amazing detective skills. Long story short, the judge ordered SM to stay at least 500 feet away from us, which feels like a huge weight lifted. After everything, my dad called. The order doesn't cover him, so he can still reach out. I wasn't expecting him to suddenly apologize or anything, but I gave him a shot. He asked if the restraining order was really necessary, and I told him, in no uncertain terms, SM was never coming near my family again. He made excuses for her, but I shut them all down. The conversation went downhill, delving into past hurt and tensions, how SM has always overstepped boundaries, tried to hijack our life events, and ignored my family's well-being for her own distorted ideas of a perfect family. In the end, I told him he had the chance to choose between his wife and his grandchildren, and he chose wrong. So, I hung up. My sister has decided to cut him off too, realizing he's not going to change. It's tough to accept, but we have to move forward knowing where his priorities lie. I may share more stories down the line, especially some of the ones I vented to my dad about, but that'll take time. For now, as always, wishing you all the best. Oh, and about SM trying to hijack our baby shower, maybe I'll dive into that next time. It's one of my sister's favorite stories. Wow, it was a bit of a whirlwind, but here's the scoop. Initially, things seemed pretty chaotic, so I was kind of amazed they pulled it off, but hey, we loved it. By mid-November, most of the planning was done. But then, later that month, my stepbrother's fiancée left him for her ex, after 4 years together. It was a sudden shock and really tough for him. With her plans for becoming a grandma stalled, my stepmom turned her attention to us. She went from being a distant relative to super excited grandma-to-be. There were Facebook posts, tacky promoted to Nana shirts, you name it. At first, we were too busy with work and holiday prep to worry about it. But soon, she was all over us about planning a baby shower and a gender reveal. We politely passed on the gender reveal thing, no shade to those who like them, but not our style. Plus, we wanted to be surprised at the birth. Stepmom kept pushing, even asking us to reveal the gender as her Christmas gift. We stood our ground. She also tried to take over the baby shower planning, even looping in my dad to get my sister-in-law Laura involved. Laura met with her, and it turned into a bit of a circus. Stepmom whipped out this massive binder of ideas, complete with "Oh Baby" on the cover, and went on about her plans. Laura shared pics with me, and wow, it was Instagram perfect but totally impractical. Giant teddy bears, oversized blocks, and pink everywhere. We didn't even know if we were having a boy or a girl, but she just knew it was a girl. Spoiler, it wasn't. She wanted a child-free, all-female party with fancy caterers and her friends on the guest list. Neither I nor Jane's moms even made the cut. We just wanted a laid-back pizza theme. Laura and our other friend tried to politely suggest mixing in some of her ideas, but stepmom was not happy. She even tried to get me to intervene, but I backed Laura up. Dad couldn't make the shower, so he was out of the loop. Fast forward to the shower week, and everything's set. Jane's 8 months pregnant, RSVPs are in, and we're ready. Stepmom wanted to set up early, but the venue had strict rules. My sister checked the boxes stepmom left at the venue and discovered a ton of pink decorations, the same stuff stepmom had shown us before. Clearly, she planned to hijack the shower with her Barbie-themed vision. Laura came up with a sneaky plan. She took stepmom to the salon to keep her busy while we redecorated the venue. It was a blast swapping out all that pink frou-frou stuff for our pizza party decor. We finished just in time, and guests started arriving. When stepmom showed up, she was stunned to see her pink paradise dismantled. Laura just smiled and whispered, "Nice try." The party was awesome, full of laughter and pizza, and we didn't worry about stepmom sulking in the corner. After that, her excitement about being a grandma fizzled out. She didn't even wear her Nana shirts or visit us at the hospital. She didn't acknowledge our baby boy until she finally met him weeks later. We eventually went no contact, and honestly, I'm glad my son won't remember her antics. Alright, let's back up a bit. So, at the start, not everyone we invited could make it to the wedding, but that didn't really surprise us. The important thing is, Jane and I finally tied the knot last Saturday after being engaged for over 2 years. We're still getting used to calling each other husband and wife, but we'll get the hang of it. The wedding was fantastic, the kids had a blast, our extended families met for the first time, and there was so much dancing I could barely stand the next day. My son and Luke, our little ring bearer, did an amazing job walking down the aisle together. Besides my aunt having a bit too much to drink and needing to be wheeled out, which, honestly, I kind of expected might happen, everything went smoothly. It's been 4 months since the big fight with the stepmonster, SM, or stepmom, and things have mostly quieted down. I wouldn't mind if it were completely silent, but hey, you can't have everything. I wasn't too worried about SM crashing the wedding, especially after that showdown. We made it clear that it's illegal for her to come near us now, and we'd call the cops if she even tried. A friend of mine still suggested I take extra safety measures just in case, and I did, though SM didn't show. No regrets on spending a little extra on security. As for family stuff, my stepbrother and I exchanged birthday wishes, and he even texted Jane on hers back in June. That's the only contact we've had, but he knows the door is open if he ever wants to apologize. My dad stopped trying to reach out to me altogether, we haven't talked since April. He's been trying to connect with my sister, but she's not having it. After she went no contact with him, they had a massive phone argument about SM's behavior over the years. It got pretty heated, and my dad took SM's side, which really upset my sister. She called me in tears afterward. I wanted to call him and give him a piece of my mind, but she talked me out of it. She's doing all right now, she hasn't blocked him but ignores his calls and texts. He's only reached out a few times with weak apologies and a rant for not wishing him a happy Father's Day. Despite everything, he's still our dad, and I do love him, just from a distance now. Jane's been super supportive through all of this. At one point, I worried she might blame me for the family drama, but she just called me a dumbass for thinking that. I've been in therapy for a few months, and it's been more helpful than I expected. It's given me the space to really process how bad SM's behavior was when I was growing up. Right now, I'm over the moon, I married the most amazing woman and have the family I've always wanted. We're not perfect, but I never thought life could be this good. I'm done with Reddit updates for now. Thanks to everyone who gave advice and support over these months, it's been incredible. Oh, one last thing, my stepbrother called today. He had a fight with SM and wants to meet up. We're going for coffee on Wednesday. I have no idea what's going to happen, but we'll see. If he does apologize, I need to know he really gets how he let us down. We postponed the meetup so Jane and I could enjoy our honeymoon without any extra baggage. We'll catch up once we're back. Final update, so, my stepbrother and I caught up over coffee back in August. He finally saw through SM's lies after talking to his therapist and friends. He realized I wasn't exaggerating about what SM did to Luke. We've spent the last few months reconnecting, and things are good now. He's even patching things up with my sister. In early November, he cut ties with SM. The kids are doing great, too. Luke turned 5, and our little one's almost 2. We're off to spend the holidays with Jane's family in Brazil, while my stepbrother hangs out with his girlfriend. Life's good. Happy holidays and best wishes to everyone.